Click subscribe to get latest news and don't forget to press the bell icon.
After months of taunting and flagrant disregard for everything that could de-escalate tensions with the United States, North Korea is finally starting to sweat a little. They have persisted in missile testing, smearing it in the face of the free world that they're gearing up to start a war, leaning on the desire for peace of those same countries to keep them safe. It's a disgusting disregard for the lives of both Americans and North Koreans. While the whole world is pretty sure the United States would win any conflict with North Korea, it would still no doubt cause major loss of life. Because of that, we've been putting the conflict off as long as possible, however that may no longer be an option. The North Korean dictator, Kim Jong-un, has pushed it too far, and he knows it because he's preparing his own little safe haven to keep him from being killed in the upcoming conflict. Nothing for his people, mind you, just himself. As tensions between North Korea and pretty much everyone else in the world continue to ratchet up, there have been reports that communist dictator Kim Jong-un has grown increasingly paranoid that he may be targeted in a decapitation strike by US and allied military forces, according to Fox News. As such, he has more or less hunkered down in his underground bunker to feel safe in his heavily defended capital, limiting outside exposure as much but providing a hard target for his enemies. Pyongyang is surrounded by anti-aircraft weapons, and while the corpulent Kim presents a large and sluggish target, he's kept on the move, always surrounded by fanatical guards and often near or in complex underground compounds, explained Mark Soter, a former U.S. Army special operator who served in the Korean Demilitarized Zone during the Cold War. Nevertheless, Soter stated that Kim probably does need to worry about strikes by precision-guided missiles and bunker-buster bombs in the early stages of a preemptive light attack, and if a conflict continues, everything from unmanned aerial vehicles to special operators will be on his tracks. Following Kim's latest test launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile, South Korean and U.S. forces released footage of their own test launches of missiles, particularly one missile developed by South Korea that is capable of penetrating underground bunkers and vaporizing everything inside of it, according to American military news. That missile is known as the Hanmu-2, and a test launch of the weapon in late June was said to be aimed at sending a clear warning against North Korea's repeated provocations, according to a spokesperson for the South Korean president. Furthermore, the spokesperson made it clear that the short-range bunker-busting ballistic missile will be a key component in our kill chain to counter possible North Korean missile attacks. Kim may feel safe inside of his 1950s Cold War-era underground bunker, but technology has vastly improved over the past several decades and underground bunkers are no longer exempt from being targeted or suffering substantial damage as may have once been. Apparently, it's not that Kim Jong-un doesn't think that his country will sustain damage if war occurs, it's just that he thinks he will survive. And I guess he's the only one that he's worried about. First off, I'm not sure who he's going to boss around if his country is systematically killed off and he survives. Secondly, this joker is apparently so insulated from the world that he doesn't understand that a Cold War bunker isn't going to cut it with technological advances that have happened since the 80s. There's also the possibility that he just doesn't believe that President Trump will actually pull the literal trigger. Somebody should tell him that he's mistaken. According to Real-Time Politics, the threat couldn't be more real. North Korea's recent tests of ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, show them capable of hitting the U.S. mainland. And in a new interview with Matt later on NBC's Today Show, GOP Senator Lindsey Graham discussed an incredibly disturbing conversation he had with Trump over these issues. Senator Lindsey Graham, RSC, said Trump has told him that the U.S. will go to war with North Korea over its missile program if it continues to aim ICBMs at America. He has told me that. I believe him, the lawmaker said. If I were China, I would believe him, too, and do something about it. If there's going to be a war to stop Kim Jong-un, it'll be over there. If thousands die, they're going to die over there. They're not going to die here. And he has told me that to my face. And that may be provocative, but not really. When you're President of the United States, where does your allegiance lie? To the people of the United States. This man, Kim Jong-un, is threatening America with a nuclear-tipped missile. Graham said that war with North Korea was inevitable and that Trump was willing to start one. According to NBC News, a conflict in the region that would likely ensnare China and South Korea could claim millions of lives. Kim Jong-un may be willing to take the chance on World War III, but it's the kind of chance that a dictator would take because of his disregard for the lives of his people. The United States doesn't want to bomb them off the face of the earth, but we will if it keeps them from doing it to us. Sadly, we're not going to win this playing defense.